I watched every single NBA 2K26 build video so you don't have to. And after watching over 100 hours of footage, these are the 10 best builds that I saw from NBA 2K26 Community Day. So I'm gonna start with Double H's Playmaking Glass Cleaner that is honestly giving me NBA 2K20 vibes. And the reason for this is number one, it is 6'8", 205 pounds with a 6'10" wingspan. This build does not really have any weaknesses, okay? I'm gonna go ahead and start it off with the 93 driving dunk. Off rip, if you guys watched anything in the gameplay reveal, you guys know that driving dunks are looking very NBA 2K24-esque, okay? The meter is huge, okay? It is massive, all right? So the meter is massive. 93 driving dunk is going to allow you guys to pull off all of the contact dunks. On top of that, we added a 93 mid-range and an 83 three-point shot. Now, the three-pointer is a little bit low, but when I was watching him make this build, you could drop your midi a little bit to get your three-pointer up to at least 85. You could go 85-3 with a 91 midi, which is a little bit safer for the players out there that are not the greatest shooters. But with a 93 mid-range shot, you are gonna get so many different badges because of it. In terms of playmaking, guys, big builds can speed boost this year. So you are making a 6'8" that has 85 ball handle. That's going to allow you to momentum crossover, and it's going to give you the best dribble moves in the game. You basically have a maxed out ball handle on a 6'8" build. This is absolutely insane, guys, especially this year. It's looking like big builds may be the meta. For the park, this build is nuts because you also have an 85 perimeter and a 74 block. The only weakness that this build has is steal. But if you guys listen to the gameplay reveal, again, they were saying that unless you have like a high steal, like in the high 90s, you're not really going to get a ton of steals. This year, you're not getting random plucks. So this might be the year of low steal being viable. And on top of that, guys, 80 defensive rebound, 75 offensive rebound. I can tell you guys right now, this build is going to be devious on the twos. Now for build number two, we're going the same height and the same wingspan, but an entirely different vibe, okay? This is simply grinding 6'8" shooting guard build. Now I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, okay? This right here is a true traditional shooting guard, okay? He's got the 92 perimeter with the 85 steal, okay? So this build already off rip, if you guys are looking to play better defense, this is the route for you. You guys are looking to dribble better, 86 ball handle with an 80 speed with ball. So he's making sure that on his 6'8" build, he's not missing out on any of the good dribble moves. He also has a 92 mid-range and an 83 three-point shot with an 89 driving dunk. The only issue between this build versus Double H's is Double H's gets more rebound and it gets more dunk. But if you guys are looking for more of a true traditional shooting guard build, this is the one. The one thing that I like better on this build is it is going to be faster and it does have steal. It's very scary to play the game and watch the ball fly by your face. There's nothing worse than having no interceptor, than having no steal, and being that guy that's just kind of a liability when they throw the ball at you. But overall, it's two really good 6'8" builds, and it kind of comes down to a preference game. How do you play? What game modes do you play? If I had to be honest with you guys, I would say that this build is really only going to be a shooting guard, whereas Double H's build has a little bit more flexibility in what it could play. But I think Grinding's build could be more lethal in the right hands. If I was personally making one of these, I would lean Grinding's just because I think it focuses more on its strength. It might be a little less balanced, but it's better at what it needs to be better at. Now let's talk about our first actual point guard build, and it's coming from my guy Spam1of1. Now, if you're not familiar with Spam, he is a former 2K League pro, and he's a very competitive point guard, so he knows how to make good builds. I'm gonna go ahead and put you guys on the first point guard build of NBA 2K26, okay? So look, we got an 86 driving dunk and an 80 driving layup. So if you guys are not seeing a common theme, all of these people that went to Community Day that tested the game, they're all buying finishing. This is going to be a year of finishing. People are betting on day one. For shooting, he went with an 85 mid-range. Now, the reason he went with an 85 mid-range is because last year, that was the threshold for the pure green window in the midi. Now, we don't know what midi is going to be great versus what midi is not going to be that good. So people are banking on the same midi as last year. But with a pure green window, you may not need 85. For the three-pointer, he went with a 95. And I'm going to be honest with you guys right here and right now. If you guys are watching this video, if you want to be safe day one, if you're making a point guard, I would not put my three-pointer below a 95. In fact, if I'm you guys, I'm trying to figure out how to get my three-pointer as high as I possibly can. One of the safest things that you could do with your builds in NBA 2K26 is making a build that has a high three-pointer, because you know no matter how many patches come, how many changes come, whether they alter the game, having that high three-pointer is always going to make your build viable. But he has an 82 free throw, which is more than enough to make your free throws. And then, yeah, in terms of playmaking, one thing that I can tell you guys off rip that he's going to regret with this build if he does make it is his pass accuracy is super low, okay? He has high ball handle, high speed with ball, which is great, but he has a 76 pass accuracy, which, yes, with cat breakers and all of these things, you can raise. To be honest with you guys, a change that I would make, instead of rocking with the 79 steal and the 61 perimeter, I know he wants to have a little bit of steal so he can take passes out of the corner. To me, it's way more important for him to have pass accuracy on his point guard build than it is to have steal. Now, if you guys don't agree with that, you guys don't have to do that. But if I'm you guys and I'm looking at making this build, I'm probably going to change that. But yeah, overall, this is a really solid build. Again, he's buying into finishing. He wants to be a finisher. So this is a really well-rounded point guard build. Not a ton of weaknesses. Again, if I had to make a tweak myself, the only thing I would do is make sure that you guys get that pass accuracy up. Now, of course, we got to talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Joe Knows. Now, he dropped 3 different center builds, but I'm going to go ahead and let you guys know what my favorite center build that he dropped was, and that was his inside center. Now, all 3 of his center builds are super viable, but in my personal opinion, the inside center was the best one. Now, let me go ahead and tell you guys why I like it. Number 1, the finishing is absolutely insane, okay? We have an 87 driving dunk, 90 standing, 65 post control, 79 close shot on a 7-foot build, okay? So the build is 7 foot with a 7'6" wingspan. You have insane driving and insane standing dunk on this build. Now, this is an inside center, so we do not have shooting on this build. One thing I would say, though, is make sure that you guys find a way to get your free throw up. You do not want to be in any game mode with no free throw. I understand you don't need it for park, but you're always at some point going to go into the rec center or going to play fives. Make sure that you have free throws so you are not getting hack or shack. For the pass accuracy, we have an 87 pass accuracy, so we are going to go ahead and be able to cat breaker that to get 92 to get the break starter. However, the only thing I would have liked to see him do on this build, and this isn't something that I always personally do, but I would have liked to see him get a little bit of speed with ball, just because if you're making a build like this that can get downhill, the best part about the driving dunk is the fact that if you catch the ball on the roll, you can kind of get to the basket quickly and dunk it. So I would like to see a little bit of speed with ball on this build, but overall, really solid. You have good defense, 75 interior, 62 perimeter, 60 steals, 74 block. So really solid defense. You don't need to have too much defense on a 7-foot build, because if you're using a 7-foot center, 9 out of 10 times you're playing fives with this build. So your power forward is more likely than not going to guard the pick and roll. You have a 99 rebound, an 84 defensive rebound. Now, what I would have also liked to see here is probably just to start with a 94 offensive rebound, preparing to get your cat breakers. That way you could open up more attributes elsewhere, because when you put an attribute at 99 overall, you are instantly penalized. And then from there, 65 speed, so solid speed, 95 strength, and a 77 vertical. Man, overall, really, really good build. And again, if you guys are preparing for cat breakers, what you can do is drop your strength a little bit, drop your offensive rebound, and this is going to get you guys so many more attribute points in other areas. Once you get past that 94, 95, 96 threshold, it gets really expensive and really taxing. But overall, this is a very solid center build. Now, I got a sleeper YouTuber that you guys might not have heard of, but you need to, because this is 2 years in a row that she has come out with a good build from NBA 2K Community Day. Her name is Boom Boom, and she came with a lockdown / Cooper flag build. I'm not going to call it a Cooper flag build. What I'm going to call it is a power forward build, okay? This is a back end, a traditional pro-am back end, but you could also use this in the park as a center, okay? What you guys have is a 73 driving dunk, and then that's really all you need, okay? One thing about me, you guys know me, I'm not the person that unloads a million points into dunk. I might this year, but I'm not the person that unloads a million points into dunk and waste attributes. So this build is gonna have enough finishing to be serviceable, okay? But if you guys are playing rec or fives and you want to make a build like this, what I would do is drop a couple attributes from other places. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys where I would do that. Defense, 85 perimeter, 89 steal, 84 block. So this is a defensive anchor, okay? I like it a lot because the room has been left to use your cat breakers in good places, okay? You can cat break your steal, get it up. You want to make sure that if you're going to make like a 6-7 back end, you know, 6-7, if you're going to make a 6-7 back end, you want to make sure that you can get as high of steal as possible. And with cat breakers, you guys are going to be able to make that possible. But For the rebounding, a 93 defensive rebounding, which is maxed out, 85 speed, 82 agility, 85 strength, 80 vertical, a really solid. It's at small forward, but I'm going to call this a power forward build. If you guys have played 2K, you know the small forward builds are not really a thing. If you guys are playing small forward in 5s, you're usually a lockdown defender or another power forward if you're running double power forwards. But the small forward is kind of a lost art. I would say this is more of a power forward build, but I do like it a lot. With a few tweaks, this could be a very viable back end. If you're not tapped in with this YouTuber, you need to tap in with him because he absolutely cooked at Community Day. This is my guy, King Dooms. Okay, now look, off rip, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys this build, and I think you guys are gonna like this build a lot because this build is super solid. Okay, let's go ahead and start with the finishing. You got an 80 driving dunk. Okay, an 80 driving dunk usually would get you the quick drops off too. We don't know what all the animations and thresholds are going to be this year, but 80 is always going to be serviceable. It's always going to be enough. It's always going to be a really good amount of finishing. In terms of shooting, you have an 83 pointer, a 70 mid-range, and a low free throw. Now, you guys could get the free throw up if you guys are playing Rec Center and Pro-Am, and I always recommend you to at least get it to a 70 because you don't want to be the guy that goes into the Rec Center with his boys and completely throws the game because you're shooting free throws like Shaq. But let's talk about where this build gets special, because to me, this is a lockdown defender build, but you could do so much more with it, okay? We have a 75 pass accuracy, 75 ball handle, and an 80 speed with ball, okay? So solid playmaking, okay? Nothing too crazy, but keep in mind, this build is 6'6" with a 7-foot wingspan. Now, this is where the build really starts to get scary. You have a 60 interior, a 94 perimeter, 94 steal, 68 block. So as you guys can tell, he is setting himself up for, again, the holy trinity of the double 99s, okay? Double 99 perimeter, 99 steal, okay? That is absolutely game changing on the defensive end. And this is where, to me, this build gets even scarier. He has a 95 speed with a 94 agility. So he has max speed, max agility. Guys, if you guys have played NBA 2K25, NBA 2K24, one thing that people don't do early in the year that they end up doing towards the end of the year, and this is why a lot of early builds don't end up being usable, is they go low speed. This build right here has so much potential to be the main lockdown build. Number one, it's taller, okay? You're taller with insane speed. I personally like this build a lot. And I know some of you guys are gonna go, Choc, 59 strength, you can't make a lockdown that has no strength. I'm just shooting you guys straight. The way point guards are moving on this game, the way I saw players moving day one at Community Day without even knowing what the best dribble sigs are, without even really getting a chance to lab, you're going to want to have high speed on your lockdown build, and I'm gonna keep it a $150 with y'all. This is the route that I would go, man. I like this build a lot. Shout out to King Dooms, he absolutely cooked. Now let's go ahead and talk about my guy Young Dirk, who is seemingly the only person at Community Day making a guard build that said let's have some pass accuracy. So let's start with the finishing. We got the 71 close shot, 77 driving layup, and a 70 driving dunk on a 6'1" build. Okay, this is more than enough. This is not going to be a build that you're getting contact dunks with, but you don't need contact dunks to succeed. You guys know how I am. You just need to be able to dunk the ball when the opportunity arises. For the shooting, man, we have an 86 on the mid-range with a 96 three-pointer and an 82 free throw. Okay, so really solid shooting. As you guys can see, he's leaving room to cap break to that 3 ball to 99. And as I've been saying, that is something that you guys want to keep in mind. Last year, we weren't sure how many cap breakers we were going to get, if it was worth it to make our first build, not focusing on cap breakers. In my personal opinion, if you don't want to be spending hundreds of dollars on this game, make your first build and have cap breakers in mind, because you're going to unlock them with seasons, with rep. It's absolutely worth it to focus on that. So that's what he did right there. What he also did was on his playmaking. 85 pass accuracy, 92 ball handle, 91 speed with ball. Now, the reason he went 91 speed with ball, as you guys can see in some of these other creator videos, is when you go 94, it absolutely nerfs and murders the build, man. It is so expensive to get that speed with ball from 91 to 94. So my presumption is that he's going to cap break that. And even if he wouldn't, I think you should. I think you guys should take that 91 speed with ball and put it to 94 with your cap breakers. But 92 ball handle is more than enough. Steve Francis is unavailable right now. It's probably going to be in the game, locked behind the seasons. I don't know why they still do that, but they do. And in terms of defense, you're not really a slouch either, man. You have a 74 perimeter with an 85 steal, okay? It's not the greatest defense, but you're a 6'1" point guard, so you can play defense. It's more than enough to get stops. It's more than enough to stay in front of somebody. And then you have a 91 speed, 80 agility, 61 vertical. Overall, really solid point guard build, man. I'm very surprised that I didn't see more point guards going with the higher pass accuracy, but it's going to hurt them in the long run. Now, I have another wild card 7'4 center from Joey 2K. Now, I'm not a huge fan of these 7'4s because they are slow, okay? One thing that you have to realize when you're making a 7'4 is it's going to be slow. But this 7'4 that he built actually is seemingly viable, okay? In terms of finishing, you got 84 close shot, 70 driving layup, 73 driving dunk, 90 standing dunk. Really solid finishing because that standing dunk is going to go a long way. Shooting, this is a 7'4 popper, and if you guys saw any of the glitchy animations from Wemby, from Yao Ming, that's why I think this build could be special, okay? You have a 68 mid-range and a 78 three-pointer. One thing that I would like to do, if you're gonna make a 7'4 pop, in my personal opinion, I feel like you should probably try to get that mid-range into the 70s, solely based on the fact that majority of the post-fade animations are gonna be in the mid-range. You're not really gonna post-fade from the three-point line, you're gonna catch and shoot from there. I would probably bump the free throw down a little bit, but I understand that he's making this as a 5s build. And every single center build that I've seen so far, nobody has gone over 87. They're all stuck at the 87 threshold. He did a good job of getting us to 93. And guys, if you are making a center, one thing that I find so many people mess up on is not getting their break starter all the way up, man. Nothing is more important in 2K than getting those easy fast break points when you have the opportunity, man. When your team can get a fast break bucket, you need it. You don't need a pass that's going to float, going to give them a bad catch, and then they get back on defense. No, you want to have the cleanest fast breaks ever. That's a huge difference in winning and losing games, and you have that with this build. You also have an 82 interior, 60 perimeter, 58 steal, and a 74 block to go along with a 94 offensive rebound that I already know will be cap breaker to 99. 57 speed, 83 strength. Not a bad 7'4" build at all, man. You could go absolutely crazy, especially if you know your post move. Now, another build that I saw that I liked was LaMonsta's, okay? LaMonsta made a 6'4" build with a 6'9" wingspan, and I'm actually kind of rocking with this build, okay? Number one, the finishing is solid. 76 driving layup, 75 driving dunk. Again, you don't have to get contact dunks, guys. It doesn't have to be pretty. It just needs to go in. You got a 93 pointer, which is maxed out on a build with 6'9" wingspan, and then an 80 mid-range, which in my personal opinion is a little bit on the lower side, but it will be serviceable with a pure green window with an 83 free throw. For the playmaking, we're rocking a 73 pass accuracy with a 90 ball handle, which this for a fact I know he wants the cap breaker and get to 95. An 86 speed with ball, which is also going to be cap breakered, and that is really good playmaking, okay? On a 6'4" build, you'll be able to get all the dribble moves once you get your cap breakers in, and that'll be really solid. Now, this to me is kind of like a pro-am shooting guard. Again, the wingspan is a little bit longer than I'd like, but you could also use this in the park for 2s or 3s because you have defense on this build. You have a 92 perimeter and a 91 steal, okay? This is very similar to the 6'4" builds that you saw being made last year in competitive play. It just has a little bit more defense to start out with than the average shooting guard would. You also have 86 speed, 85 agility, 82 strength, 65 vertical. What I would personally do on this build is I drop the strength. I don't think you need 82 strength. Number one, the finishing isn't that high, so what do you really need the strength for other than maybe blow-bys? I would drop your strength a little bit and try to get that speed up a little bit higher. Other than that, though, pretty solid build, very balanced, can do a lot of different things, and you'll be able to play a couple of different roles on your teams. And then last but not least, we have Cheeseaholic's ball-hawking three-point shot creator. Okay, now look, man. 73 on the driving dunk, 80 driving layup with a 72 close shot. So solid finishing for a point guard build. On top of that, we also have the 94 three-pointer to go along with the 84 mid-range. You guys know that's a really good spread, and then obviously with your cap breakers, you could get your 3 to 99 on this. For the playmaking, he went with 70, 95, and 91, which is a very good spread, especially for the park scene. I know Cheese doesn't play any 5, so it's perfect for the park scene. I would use some cap breakers to try to get that speed with ball to 94 as well. 94 speed with ball is so much better than 91, but it is so expensive. We also have a 70 on the pass accuracy, 52 interior with a 75 perimeter to go along with an 85 steal, 91 speed, 80 agility. So yeah, if you're looking for like a 3s point guard or a 2s point guard, this is the way to go. You could also use this in 5s, but I'm telling you that 70 pass accuracy would get you in trouble. You could obviously, if you were trying to do something like this in 5s, drop the defense a little bit. You don't need to have that high of perimeter. You don't need to have that high of steal. But yeah, overall, I like this build a lot, man, and I think it's very solid. It's going to be a pretty good day one build. And my honorable mentions, you guys know if you watch a Choc video, you always get more delivered, okay? I say I'm going to give you guys 10, I always give more. I wanted to show you guys Double H's 7'4" center builds, okay? His 7'4" center builds are not bad at all. And let me start with the outside center, okay? This is a 7'4" build with a 7'4" wingspan that has a 56 speed, which sounds really bad, but honestly, it's really not that bad at 7'4". But on an outside center, he has an 89 three-pointer at 7'4" with an 81 standing dunk, a 77 post control. Obviously, the defense isn't great, but he has high block and high interior and high pass accuracy on a 7'4" build. Do not be surprised if you see 7'4s come out. And the crazier one, in my opinion, besides the outside, is the inside 7'4" center. At 7'4", you can get a 7'10" wingspan. This is a 99 offensive rebound to go along with a 90 defensive rebound. High interior, high block, and honestly, when you guys are using cap breakers, imagine when you add cap breakers into the equation, okay? Right now, you're looking at these builds, and they don't have cap breakers. If you guys remember in NBA 2K25, the builds day one didn't look that good. But by December, January, February, March, when everybody's getting cap breakers from seasons, when everybody's getting cap breakers from their rep, builds started becoming OP. Imagine these builds with cap breakers. It's going to be absolutely scary. I'm super excited. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all for watching. And as always, your boy Choc. Stay tuned for more. And I'm out. Peace.